right here. At home. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family, I'm doing 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You see, we dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast presents. It's your bull, Mr. Owns. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes.
What's going on, family? It's your man, Big Huss, the one you trust, tapping in with that midnight green medicine. Now, family, let me holler at y'all for a second real quick. Everybody loves the first round picks, right? We react to the big names, but if you really understand football, you know this is where teams separate themselves. Rounds 4 through 7, undrafted free agency, right? Majority of the league is comprised of folks from round 4 through 7.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where you build depth, identity, and sometimes future starters. In the Philadelphia Eagles, they didn't just draft players, they drafted traits, they drafted roles, they drafted development. So today, when I skimming through it, we're going all the way in the Main Thing way. But before we do that, Mr. Owens wants to talk to you real quick.
Yes. Y'all already know. To our loyal supporters, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section, share, and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, you already know the drill. Make sure to turn on them noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch. Wow. So you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all.
Hey, the message was sent. I hope it was received. You feel me? Look, let's kind of dive right into it. We already discussed our first round pick, Micah Lemon, drafted 20th overall. One of our second round pick, Eli Stowers, 54th pick overall out of Vanderbilt. And then we already discussed Mark Bell, third round pick. You already know, tackle out of the U. So this one's going to start out with Cole Payton, our 5th round pick, 178 overall out of North Dakota State. Now, this isn't a traditional quarterback pick, right? This is a tool. This is a weapon. This is a player that moved around the field and forced defenses to adjust. First thing that stands out, you watching the toughness, right? He runs like a running back, finishes through contact, does not shy away from physicality, and that matters in those short yardage situations. Now, adding his mobility, not elite speed, functional control, purposeful movement, but enough to extend plays, enough to stress edges, force defenders to hesitate. And if you force the defense to hesitate as an offense, you're winning.
Gotcha.
Automatic. Yeah, automatic. Okay. So then you add in mentality. Coming from North Dakota State means structured offense, right? Ball security awareness, situational discipline, and a winning culture. North Dakota State has been winning for a long time now. When you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, majority of the guys on our roster come from winning pedigree. But again, that's not his role. In the Nick Sirianni system or Sean Mannion's system, he could become a wildback option, right? A wildcat option, I should say. motion based, misdirection piece, red zone threat, short yardage problem, because the kid is a body. 6'3", 230 pounds or so. I ain't gonna say he's Tebow Brody, but he's a Brody guy.
He got some pounds on him.
You know what I'm saying? So what a defense has to stop and think, once again, that's when you win. And Cole Payton, he really gives you a lot of that. He can stress the defense in many ways. Good arm talent, needs to be coached up, but some athletic traits that we could use and identify and put to work in the Philadelphia Eagles offense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited for that pick, man. Because it's so funny how now everybody gives him a comparison to Taysom Hill, but that was the comparison, that was supposed to be the role that QB1 was supposed to be playing when he came out as well. But you know how that turned out: Super Bowl champion, MVP, right there. But yeah, Cole Payton, you already know, man. There's been some success at North Dakota State with their quarterbacks and things like that. But I'm excited for Cole Payton and to see the packages and things like that Sean Mannion creates for him in this offense. But somebody who protects the likes of Cole Payton being a quarterback is Micah Morris, guard out of Georgia, picked in round 6, pick number 207. And this pick, y'all already know, it's all about the identity for the Philadelphia Eagles, because when our Eagles invest in the offensive line, they're investing in who they are. So let's dive in a little bit and talk about what Micah Morris brings to the Philadelphia Eagles. He brings power. He usually moves defenders out the way, displaces the defenders. He has a strong base from what I saw on film and watching Georgia games. He generates a great push off the ball, off the snap, and then he's physical at the point of attack. That is what you want from your offensive lineman, especially your interior offensive lineman. Also, what serves him well is the experience, being the fact that he's played in the SEC. He's SEC tested. So we already know those Bulldogs in Athens, Georgia, go Dogs. You know, they prepare you for the NFL. Kirby Smart and his crew do a great job. And y'all already know that pipeline between Philadelphia and Georgia football. Very, very strong. You know how they one call away. We not talking about Chingy. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, come on now. Look now. But man, look, we know that Georgia has the complex schemes. They have pro-ready offense down there at the University of Georgia. Again, with the SEC play, you always play elite competition, so you're ready typically on Sundays. Then you get those big game reps, especially playing in a college football playoffs and usually playing in the Natty, in the national championship game. Also, his pass protection. He anchors very, very well. He doesn't get walked back easily. He sets his base and holds his leverage on the defensive line. And then he keeps the pocket firm from the interior. But where you have some good, there usually is some bad as well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. And what he needs to work on is his lateral quickness versus fast interior rushers. But you're going to get a lot of that with Breadman and with Jordan Davis. But look, he gonna have to battle them again because he's probably used to battling them in practice down in Athens. So look, just continue working on yourself, getting better, trying to win every rep that you face those dogs on that defensive side. But then also he needs to work on his hand placement consistency. Sometimes he gets a little erratic with his hand placement, so we need him to get a little bit more tight, get up in the shoulder pad area, the chest area. And then also he needs to work on recovery ability in space, especially with Sean Mannion coming over here, being the offensive coordinator. You know that we like to get a lot of our playmakers in space. And I'm pretty sure because Kevin Patullo refused to help the offense out, I'm pretty sure that Sean Mannion's also going to put some screens in to our offense. So you already know, man, we have the elite of elite offensive line that can get into space and make those blocks. But that is something that Micah Morris needs to work on here in Philadelphia. But why does this pick fit for us here? Philly builds through, we already know, depth, versatility, and we trust our player development program wholeheartedly. And Micah Morris doesn't have to be rushed. He doesn't have to be thrusted into being a starter. He can sit, he can develop, learn the ropes. So we got Chris Cooper over here now, so he can learn a zone blocking scheme and things like that. But we want him to come here and compete. That's what it's all about, bringing in competition for the other players to get better. But the long-term answer here might be he could become a real serious contributor. We just got to take it day by day, see the progressions that he makes. And like I said, he can probably come in and be a solid contributor on our offensive line here in Philadelphia.
No, I agree. I believe he can turn into a solid contributor. Honestly, the Georgia product for Philadelphia has turned out great thus far. On the percentage side,
yes.
As you mentioned, for me, playing in those bigger conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten type deal, that experience and the level of competition that you go up against, and more so in the SEC now, on a weekly basis, it can't be compared. I'm just being real. A lot of the NFL is comprised of SEC players, and they play a lot of championship grade ball. So the transition for them, not saying that it's not a big step or a big leap, but they seem to transition a little bit better than most.
Yeah.
Now,
because because even when you think about it, to add on to your point about the SEC, their worst teams give their best teams a run for their money.
Straight
the
up.
Mississippi States, well, Vanderbilt used to be on the bottom end of the barrel and things like that, but you see how Vanderbilt has progressed over the years. But look, you can't, it ain't no walk in the park when you go on the SEC. Nah. SEC, you got to bring your big boy ball every week, like you said, bro.
So, and that's why a lot of those guys, whether they come in and be premier starters or not, they come in and have long careers.
Yes.
So it's just when you're seeing that, then like I said, you bump up, it's a step up. Yes. Right. Is there adjustment? Yes. But they transition a lot easier once again, the most.
Yes.
Now, flipping sides here to the other side of the ball with our 7th round pick 244. We brought in Cole Wisniewski out of Texas Tech. Now, this is a coach's player here. His biggest strength, instincts. And playing safety, look, man, you got to have instincts. You can't play safety without it. Diagnosis plays really early, especially around the line of scrimmage. Reacts fast, takes smart angles, right? He's always around the ball because he understands where it's going. That's football smarts, and that's studying film. Now, physically, he's not elite, but gives you great size from a safety standpoint. 6'3", 6'4", or so, 215-ish, 220. He's a bigger guy. He might be able to transition into a linebacker role. Now, our most recent experience of that is Nate Jerry. It did not turn out as good, but hey, Cole Wisniewski's his own player. We'll see how it goes. But mentally, he's ahead of the game now. And how he makes the roster, honestly, this is going to be a special teams guy. A depth role piece. Maybe we go big nickel, big safety, or maybe he adds another 10 pounds and they transition to a weak side linebacker, right? Situational more so usage early on, but I think he's going to make his bones. I mean, Mr. Owens already said this, special teams. This guy might turn into a special team whiz because one thing that Cole Wisniewski can do is run and hit. So, see ball, get ball. And in a lot of special team situations outside of the kicker, that's pretty much your mindset. So coaches can trust his player to not mess up, be where he's supposed to be, and go all out. That's his lane. And he might be able to make a career just out of that.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to your point real quick, Big Huss, about maybe putting on 10 pounds and transitioning to linebacker, he did actually play linebacker at North Dakota State before he transferred over to Texas Tech. So that is something to keep into consideration, especially with the fact is, I mean, we're deep at linebacker now, of course. That's how we say we ain't playing. We ain't doing the bargain bin shopping no more. You know what I mean?
No,
you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to go back to hamburger helper when you got filet mignon. You know what I mean? So we don't do that over here. You feel me? But I can definitely see him, and from us watching that, his highlights, like you said, he attacks the ball
Yes,
violently and
yes,
viciously. That boy, he don't miss tackles. You see what I'm saying? But I do want to kind of see him on in pass coverage because, as you mentioned to me before, you don't see a lot of pass coverage snaps. You do see a lot of him coming downhill and making that tackle, but that might be an intriguing position, especially if he can't crack the safety rotation, come down and play linebacker.
And I think it's more so that from watching, granted, we don't have all his tape to watch, but just from the highlights that we've seen, it was more so him triggering downhill versus the run, TFLs, big hits type deal, not so much in pass coverage. And that's why I gave the idea, and you already given the facts of him already playing linebacker in his past, maybe switching roles, because on the back end, you can't afford not to be able to cover. I ain't saying you got to be elite one-on-one, mano a mano, but I need you to be able to hold up on the back end. And a lot of his highlights were him around the line of scrimmage, and it seems that's where he feels most comfortable. Almost like I want to call him a Nakobe Dean because that's his own man, different player, but almost like a Nakobe Dean for real. Better when triggering down. Maybe the transition helps. That's gonna take time though, because he's gonna have to put on some weight.
Yeah, he's gonna have to put on some weight.
Yeah, at least 10, 15 pounds.
But this is a perfect position for him to fall into because again, he ain't gonna have to get thrusted into this role. You got a lot of dogs in front of you, especially if he goes down a linebacker. You got a lot of dogs in front of you. You got to battle with. I mean, but we always preach competition, so it's only going to continue making our roster better. Now, we're going to go to one of me and Big Hus' favorite picks. We kind of know how he likes to take risks and gamble. They don't call him ski mask for no reason. But we got my man's Uar Bernard, round 7 pick number 251. And this one right here, he has a lot of upside and an unlimited ceiling that he can tap into. Now, if you're not familiar with Uar Bernard, he is from the International Player Pathway, the development program with the NFL. We've had somebody actually come out of that program by the name of Jordan Mailata. So we can see that, look, you take the craft seriously, you take the teachings and the fundamentals and things like that, that you can turn this career, football thing into a long, illustrious career for yourself. But this one right here was more of a traits pick. Obviously, he has the size, the length, and the movement, because like Hus said on a previous video, he used to play basketball and soccer. So, he has lateral agility and lateral movements, which is very good for you to be on the defensive line because you want to be able to move laterally to get around your blocker. But everybody's going to say, isn't he raw? He's never played a snap before. How can you trust somebody? Yes, we know that. But those are sometimes the best players to have because they're more coachable. They're more moldable. And sometimes that is where the real value is. When you come and have somebody who has a high work ethic that is coachable and is like a sponge, just soaks up all the knowledge from people like a Bradman Carter, Jordan Davis, things like that, you have no choice but to continue to push yourself and be better. Plus, we know that Uar Bernard, he's originally from Nigeria. He said that sometimes he didn't have any food to eat, so he used to have to eat cornmeal and things like that. And he just wants to, just like me and Big Hus, you want to take care of your family. You want to take care of, specifically, he said, his mother. And that already, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he has to do it for his family. But we all know, too, we had a scout that was over there previously. They saw him, and then they got Big Clint hurt. Yes. To go down and work out Uar Bernard. He said that he liked everything that he saw from Uar Bernard. Even though he's very raw and he doesn't know much about football, he feels that he has the tools that he can work with and mold into a player. Then it was funny, too, real quick, because where Uar Bernard, once he got drafted,
on the phone with Howie.
Yeah, he's talking about some, hey, well, I might have to walk over there. What, you about to walk on water? We Jesus out this joint. You see what I'm saying? He about to walk on water. You feel me? And then Howie like, come on, stop being silly. We about to get you to BJ real quick to come over here to Philly. But I just love the fact that you could just see the raw emotion from him. From even on draft day, he's going to be a player. Me and Big Hus have talked about this. Maybe not this year. maybe not next year, but in 3-4 years, Uar Bernard might be one of them ones that we gotta watch out for and making a name for himself in the National Football League.
No, for sure, because as you're physically get that as well. To have never have played football, to get drafted in the National Football League 2026 NFL is crazy. I didn't play a lick of ball and I still got drafted just off my athletic traits. Talking about he's 305 pounds, he said, with 6% body fat.
Body fat.
If you see him, he looks like he was like, is that look like out of a magazine? Carved out of marble. Like I don't know. The Nigerian Hercules. My man, he physically he looks different for real. Mm-hmm. And that's what Mr. Owen said. And this is what I like a lot of times you said when you get guys who haven't played a bunch of ball. You don't have to coach some of those mistakes at them because they don't have them, right? This is the first time they're getting with a real coach who's going to coach them up the right way. So I don't have to coach out a lot of those flaws that you've been doing your whole life. We got to get them out of it. Blank slate. Ceiling out of this world for this kid. Like I said, maybe, like Mr. said, maybe not this year, maybe not next year. A couple years down the road, if he takes it serious, which I believe he will, my man might be a menace. I don't know how else to put it.
And it's crazy too, Big Huss, because they said that his measurables is like almost identical to Myles Garrett, bro. Like,
but bro, he's 30 pounds heavier than my. I said, what the heck? I saw that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Like, man, I can't wait to see what the finished product is with this kid because it's scary. It's very much scary. So now we move on to our last pick in the NFL draft. Keyshawn James-Newby, 7th round pick 252 for real, out of New Mexico. 6'1", 240-ish edge rusher. This is a motor guy. Sideline to sideline speed, constant effort, always around the ball. Needs a bit of discipline, but that can come with coaching. Being in the environment that the Philadelphia Eagles now have, the culture that we have in place, right? Getting them right. But the effort like that, man, you could build on that all day, every day. That's one of the first things we loved about Nolan Smith. It was all gas, no brakes. This kid is very much some of the same. Now, some of his strengths and weaknesses per Lance Zierlein of the NFL.com or whatever, greets blocks with quick and well-placed hands, works hands and feet in harmony. That means it's a married relationship between his hands and feet. They're working in synchronization, right? Good use of length to separate from blocks in both phases. Smooth rush takeoff with good burst to top, right? Targets outside with accurate hand placement. Chop softens the edge. Right now, weaknesses from an edge position, as I mentioned, 6'1", 240. Lacks ideal size. A little bit off, opposite of a Bernard who we brought in, who's about 260 or so. You know what I mean? Like, so he could stand to get in the Philadelphia Eagles training room and give trainers and bulk up a little bit. This is going to be another one of those situations where maybe he doesn't come right out the gate, you know what I mean, hitting on all cylinders. But give him some time. A couple years down the road, you never know, right? So lacks ideal size, below average power to put in attack. That's just getting in the weight room, right? Could find himself in tough battles against inline tight ends. Once again, just has to get a little bit stronger at the point. And a lot of his weaknesses, that's kind of what it's boiling down to. Just play strength. But that comes with time, man. That comes with time. He's a 7th round pick, so expectations aren't too great right now. He doesn't have to be rushed onto the field. He can ideally sit for 2 years, and then we pop out of nowhere and be like, man, who's Keyshawn James-Newby? Who's this guy? And he's balling. Just being real. We have that kind of depth here now. So, especially with the signing thing of Jonathan Bernard at age.
Yes. And Huss, that's kind of, it's almost like he's, if we want to use college terms, redshirting. Because that's essentially what he's doing. It's just redshirting.
Yeah.
And you took the words and the name right out of my mouth, Jonathan Bernard, with the fact that you can sit behind a proven veteran guy and learn the ropes. Because Jonathan Bernard not only has speed, but he also does have power.
For sure.
But from the highlights that we watched of Keyshawn James-Newby, he gets after the football. Like you said, high motor guy. doesn't stop until the whistle is blown.
Mm-hmm.
Then also what I like is too, he can drop in coverage and play and play pass defense as well.
Which is a must in a Vic Fangio system.
Exactly, especially as an edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that we don't have to really rush this guy. Again, he can learn from Jonathan Bernard. He can learn from Nolan Smith, who just got his extension.
Yep.
Also learn from Jalix Hunt, because Jalix Hunt kind of was in the same type of situation when we first, because everybody was like, yo, who's Jalix Hunt from Houston? What? Houston Baptist or Houston Christian? Whatever. But you see how Jalix Hunt turned out. But I definitely am going to keep my eye on Keyshawn James-Newby because, like I said, you can't coach effort, you can't coach hustle, and you cannot coach determination. And that's the type of guys that we like here in Philadelphia. A lot of people don't realize, us as fans, we don't get upset when our team loses, because let me rephrase it. We get upset when they lose. It's how they lose. Did they give any effort? Did they hustle on plays? If you just got outworked BTA, then we're not going to cut you no slack. But if we see some effort or hustle in the loss, then we'll be like, okay, cool. Let's look back at some of the plays and things like that kind of cost us this game, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that pick. But now let's get into the undrafted free agent class, and this is where competition is breeded, and this is where teams separate, as Big Huss said earlier in the video. So some quick breakdowns with our undrafted free agents. Now, an undrafted free agent, most recent who made it, but even though he's not in Philadelphia anymore, is Reed Blankenship. So it is possible for undrafted free agents to make the roster. But we got Deontae Lawson out of Alabama. He brings the leadership, he brings physicality, and he brings that SEC brand of football here to Philadelphia. We got Jaeden Roberts. He brings power in the interior offensive line. I believe he's out of Georgia. We got Daquan Wright, tight end out of Ole Miss. He has a very, very high upside in the tight end room, especially with Dallas Goedert only signing a 1-year deal. And then we just grabbed Eli Stowers in this draft. We don't never know. Daquan Wright could be the number 2 tight end behind Eli Stowers when Dallas Goedert finally departs. Also, we have Kapina Gushiki. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Also out of Ole Miss. He's more of a speed type of guy. Probably will be very, very useful in special teams. And then this name right here is legendary Maximus Pulley. He's a developmental type player. I don't know. I think he's out of Wofford, matter of fact. I believe he's out of Wofford. Yes, safety out of Wofford. So, of course, he's going to be a developmental type project here in Philadelphia. We also have Tucker Large. He will probably push for more being a depth piece here in Philadelphia. I'm not sure what school he went to.
Tucker Large, I'm not sure either. I will tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Large went to Washington State.
Washington State? Okay.
Yep.
So the Cougars. Yep. So we got Tucker Large out of Washington State. Again, he'd probably be more of a depth piece here in Philadelphia. Then we got Rocco Underwood out of Florida, long snapper. He is going to bring competition in camp because y'all know we had Charlie Hewlett, but Charlie Hewlett is starting to get up in age. So we do definitely need to start looking at the future for long snapper. Then finally, we got Joshua Wuru out of Kenya. He's another player from the International Pathway Program. But again, he has some upside. I believe he played rugby. So he's kind of familiar with the game, even though it's not American football. But
yeah, it said over there, they said one of the best rugby runners they've ever seen, one of the best ball carriers they've ever seen with his ball in his hands. But I believe in the NFL, he will be playing linebacker, either linebacker or safety. Will not be playing running back.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Like he's athletic. He is very much athletic and has some good size to him for real. Good rugby tape. Yeah, we have a good history of rugby players. So good rugby tape, but go watch it. Shows a lot of his athleticism, but would definitely be a project player. But the upside there, if he can, depending upon how fast he can learn the game, let alone the Vic Fangio system, will really determine a lot. But athletically, very gifted.
And with I like the fact with the international players though as well, they're playing defense. I feel that it will be easier to teach a player defense than offense. Because defense is just like, okay, be in your position and go make the tackle. You see the ball, go get the ball. Offense is a lot of nuances and details in that job.
Well, the caveat with that is defense, you have to have better instincts, though, I feel, than offense. You got to have a better, you know what I'm saying? So it's like if he doesn't have it, we'll see how it goes. It'll take a minute. If he has the instincts along with, as you like what you just said, hey, if I'm supposed to be here, oh, I ain't got no action. Let me know where to flow kind of deal. He might turn into a baller because the dude is 6'4", 245.
That's what I'm saying. Run. And I think he should have some instincts, especially with him playing rugby. You gotta have some instincts.
And they said good runner. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You gotta have some instincts. And then on top of that too, even with Uar, him playing basketball and him playing soccer, you gotta have instincts. So yeah, I think that they will do an amazing job on defense, but only time will tell. And we trust our player development department to make sure that these players maximize their potential. But with these undrafted free agents, we all know that Howie always wants to create pressure. Pressure builds rosters. Pressure also builds Super Bowl rosters, something that we're used to here in Philadelphia and what we're going to get back to in this 2026 campaign.
For sure. All right, so let's bring this thing back to QB1, the choir centerpiece here, okay? Everything runs through him. And right now, it's quiet. But that quiet, that's expectation, right? This offense is shifting toward timing, precision, efficiency. So with that, QB1, this offseason, he's to focus on processing things a little bit faster, right? Delivering quicker and elevating the system. Now, that'll come with time. The more comfortable he feels within the system, we already know QB1 can put the team on his shoulders and do what he has to do, right? So the more comfortable he feels within the system, it'll allow him to flow more freely and play a little bit more loose. But that just comes with it. But the weapons that we brought in were shifting more from, I don't want to say a big play offense, but more of a timing offense. So he's going to have to feel the game and continue to grow as he's done from year to year as a passer, as a football player, as a leader. That's the next step for him.
Yes. And I feel wholeheartedly that he's going to take the next step. They continue doubting QB1. I don't know why y'all do this. Y'all haven't learned y'all lesson yet. Every time y'all doubt this man, he rises to the occasion every single time. So it works in favor for us here in Philadelphia. And I'm glad that you mentioned him because a lot of people been having a lot of chatter and a lot of all fixing their lips, talking crazy, talking reckless about our QB. But recently, it's been crickets and silencio on y'all end, right? Especially with this new news, this bombshell that dropped with one of our all-time former great coaches, Jeff Stoutland, having something to say. He was on the New Heights podcast with legend Jason Kelsey. I believe also Jordan Mailata was there, and family. We're going to have to talk about this one because this one is where it truly matters. When Jeff Stoutland speaks, we all know it ain't just no noise. It ain't just smoke. That's one of the most respected voices that ever entered the building here in Philadelphia. And what he essentially made clear here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, when talking about the 2025 offense was this: execution and play design have to match. First shot fired. Second, you can't consistently put players in bad situations. second shot fired.
My man like Neo in the Matrix, bro. He dodging them jaws, bro.
Jesus. The offense has to be structured to succeed, not survive. Pew, pew, pew. 3 shots fired. Now, he didn't come out and blast anybody, but the message was very clear. This offense wasn't consistently putting players in the best position to succeed, something that me and Huss said all through the 2025 season. You got to put your players in the best position to succeed. We've been saying this. We said it was Kevin Patullo. But then also, might be another guy here in Philadelphia too that's kind of catching some of this heat as well. And we all know, if y'all watched the season, we all saw it. We knew what it was by like week 2, week 3, what it was when we wasn't putting up no numbers. How do you, especially I remember when we played the Broncos, how are we up 18 points? And in the second half, just don't score nothing. So we start out hot. And the next thing you know, you want to get conservative and don't want to open up the big plays and continue to put your keep your foot on the neck and on the gas. You want to get conservative, and that's how we lose the game, right? So we all saw it last season when the drive stalls out. We get 3 and outs on a normal basis. I think we led the NFL.
We did.
In 3 and outs.
We did.
Right? So play calling, again, felt predictable at times. Me and Big Huss be watching the game. We be like, oh, well, we about to run on first now. Yep. There we go. We're going up the middle. How we know? So we're sitting on the couch watching it, right? What you think the defensive coordinators and the defensive players of the other team? If we know, right? We don't get paid to do this. You see what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Concepts did not always match personnel strengths. You got a top 5 unit on the offensive line, top 5 quarterback, the best duo at wide receiver, top 5 tight end, and arguably the best running back in the backfield, and we couldn't match strengths to our personnel? Mm-hmm. What we doing? You pulling out bingo cards, bro? B6, this is what we running? What are we doing here? Oh, I'm confused. I'm still confused now in this April because I'm confused. I don't even know. But your man's Nick Sirianni wanted to be buddy and give his man's an opportunity. We saw how he fell flat on his face. All right. Man. And now he down there in Miami doing I don't know what. I hope you're staying away. Well, you can hope to help their offense, but look, stay far away from us. But again, when a coach like Jeff Stoutland, a revered, respected coach, not only here in Philadelphia, but all around the NFL, emphasizes that you can't rely on bad play calls or poor structure. He's not just speaking commentary about that. That's taking accountability, right, for the offense and the lack of offense that we had here last season. And naturally, who does that put the spotlight on? Kevin Patullo, who's not here no more, but it is a guy here who's in a head position. He goes by the name of Nick Sirianni. Not a lot of people are talking about that. Even I saw something on IG or Twitter. It was one of them Johns, where I saw Boston Scott kind of say Nick Sirianni ain't getting enough heat for the offensive flaws in 2025. This is an old player, the Giant Killer, speaking out. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, I'm just a messenger. Me and Big Huss is just a messenger. But one of the ex-players came out and said Nick Sirianni is not getting enough heat. But we also knew that from before, because when we asked Nick Sirianni to put the offense in his hands, it didn't change that much from what Kevin Patullo's, because I believe Kevin Patullo was running a variation of Nick Sirianni's offense. So we know that Nick Sirianni can get these group of men ready to play football. But on that offensive side of the ball, We don't know how much Nick Sirianni can succeed in calling plays. And I'm glad that the Philadelphia Eagles realized this, the front office, and saying, hey, Nick, you're still going to be our head coach. But with this offensive coordinator, you don't touch nothing. You don't suggest anything. You let Sean Mannion run his offense. And that's what we need. Fresh voice, a new start, because we have the talent here on our team to get the job done. Even if our offense can take a leap and get into the top 10 this season, we can get back to the bowl. It's on our offense.
And we have the talent, as you mentioned, to be a top 10 offense. But like the great Coach Stoutland said, you got to put your players in the best positions to succeed. As Mr. Owen just said, I didn't see much difference between Kevin Patullo's offense and Nick Sirianni's offense. I know they good friends. It's just same style, same everything. It wasn't working out. I'm glad, as you said, we brought somebody in with no connection to Sirianni, who has his own identity of what the offense should look like, right, and go that direction. Sirianni, great coach. Is he a play caller? Absolutely not. Is he a motivator of men? Yes. Everybody has their roles, and you got to stay in it. So I'm very much looking forward to Sean Mannion and what he brings. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Me and you both, because look, when Nick Sirianni comes to the offense, run, wide receiver screen. What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, let's get this clear real quick. Jeff Stoutland was not in a calling them out type of way here, but in a way that we all have to be better. All right. And here's the key to this, family. That's not dysfunction. That's a team that knows it left something on the table multiple times. We left a lot of meat on the bones last year on offense. And we know here in Philadelphia, we have a high standard. We set ourselves with a very high standard, and we know that that is championship standard voice saying we are too talented for that. We're too talented to have our offense stuck in neutral. We're too talented for our offense not to score over 17 points. We're too talented for our offense to continue getting 3 and outs. It just gets tiring. So we're looking forward to Sean Mannion to putting some juice into this offense and getting our offense back to the brand of offense that we know here in Philadelphia, because
For sure. Being that fresh voice, that new voice on the offensive side of the ball, getting those young men together. Because once again, most talented offense in the league, most expensive offense in the league. But you're leading the league in 3 and outs. That's just not computing. The math's not mathing. We need somebody who's going to do right by this offense, right? Stay in rhythm, stay on schedule, have a feel of the game, and help these young men do their jobs to the best of their capabilities. Now, Sean Mannion, new voice, right? New role. But hey, it might be a breath of fresh air.
Yes. And to add on to your point, because you said it all perfectly, we need Sean Mannion to also know adjustments.
Yeah.
Because
that's what
we didn't have any adjustments. We didn't have any adjustments. You see that something's not working? Why are you continue going to the same thing? Go to something else. It's just so frustrating, but I digress, because my bad.
Okay. No, for sure. So look, Patullo out, Mannion in. Right now we have some more front office movement. And now why this matters. So the Eagles lost Alec Hallaby, assistant GM, right, stepping down, and then Bryce Johnston, senior VP. He's moving on to the Falcons. Hallaby was known for his analytics, right, roster construction, cap strategy. He's supposed to be like the mini Howie, right, in a sense, right? And then Johnston was in charge of football operations and organizational structure. That's real influence. That's a lot of things that these guys had their hands on, right? A lot of moving pieces. So when they leave, you lose your institutional knowledge, your evaluation systems, right? Your decision rhythm. Now, yes, you gain new perspective when you bring new faces in, new ideas, things of that nature, but it's still a shift. And Philadelphia this year has already been going through a lot of shifts. So this is just another component in which we'll have to overcome, whether it be for the better or worse. But shifts matter. So this is another challenge that Philadelphia, we're going to kind of have to sift through. Hopefully we can bring in somebody who can do their jobs just as good as these fellas, or if not better.
It's typical in Philadelphia, bro.
Revolving door. We talked about this. It's a revolving door in Philadelphia.
Players, coaches, front office staff, cafeteria people.
Oh my God,
bro! It doesn't matter in Philadelphia. Everybody just wants to take from our organization, and I don't blame them. You see what I'm saying? When you got a winning organization such as the Philadelphia Eagles, I would want to know their secrets too. You feel me? They like everybody wants to be like Plankton. Always want to just try to get the Krabby Patty formula. You feel me? Like, what is Howie doing over there? Can you give me some tips and techniques? What is he doing? Look, man, Howie knows what he's doing. All right, but let's talk about these 5th-year options. I'm excited about. We got to break down Jalen Breadman Carter and Nolan Smith. So now we all know that Breadman Carter is an dominant in the interior line of defense. He collapses the pocket. He disrupts offense's timings, and he forces your quarterbacks to make mistakes. What this all says to me is that you're a foundational piece here in Philadelphia, and you're not going anywhere. He's due for a contract extension. I wholeheartedly know that Howie Roseman will give Breadman the bag. All right. So also Nolan Smith, we're projecting his upside. He showed flashes, but we're still kind of waiting for Nolan to put it all together and be more consistent rushing off the edge. We know he has that speed running that 4.3 that he did. That's different. The edge rushers nowadays running 4.3s, 4.4s is diabolical. We know that he has a high motor. He never gives up on a play. You always see Nolan Smith chasing down the ball carrier, something that you want to see from your defenders. And his growth potential is very, very high. He has a high ceiling to get better. Basically, what the Philadelphia Eagles are saying for Nolan Smith is, we believe in your future here in Philadelphia. But the big picture here with these two young men is we have the core set. We have the pieces in place, the cornerstone pieces in place on defense, and the foundational pieces that we want to build around here in Philadelphia. And we know that the identity of the nasty, physical, dominating defense is starting to form under the tutelage of Godfather Vic.
For sure. If we don't know nothing about Howie Roseman and Vic, they value the trenches. So, like Mr. Owens said, no Breadman Carter is going to be getting a check sometime next offseason. Just know that. Now, Nolan, on the other hand, look, he'll be deserving of a contract. Will it be with Philadelphia? Unsure. We'll kind of see how that goes. As you just said, Mr. Owens, he kind of has to turn that corner and put it all together and prove, one, they can stay healthy. But two, he doesn't have to even be an elite edge rusher. Just be that dominant force off the edge for an entire season. If he could do that, Philadelphia will find a way to make some things work. And if it's not here, then one of those 31 other teams will sure enough give him a contract for sure. But here's the main thing, family, right? None of this was flashy. It was all intentional, as it's been for the Philadelphia Eagles all off season. We continue to use that word. So this is how you build, man. Depth, competition within the ranks, and sustainability. Because it's not just about this year, even though we're focused on this year. It's about years to come. We're not trying to be no one-hit wonders. You know what I mean? This is for life. It's about the longevity of it all. So I want to hear from you. Who stood out, right? What do you think about the direction in which the Philadelphia Eagles are taking right now? Who was your sleeper in the draft? Drop it all below. And if you rocking with us, you already know how we got to do, man. Like, subscribe, join the family. You know what it is. Fire content, Big Hus, Mr. O's, right? But look, man, that was your midnight green medicine.
You already know, Big Hus. We got to talk to our family. Thank y'all so much for continuously tapping in with us and supporting our brand. You know that this community is going to continue to grow and we're all going to grow together. But y'all, again, like I said, are the engine that keeps this operation and this train moving. So look, continue supporting the Main Thing Podcast Presents. But y'all already know, to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section, share, and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, y'all already know we're going to continue hitting y'all on the head with this. Make sure to turn on that notification bell, also known as the Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates.
Man, go do that. Go do that. Go do that. Don't waste no time. Hey, man, continue to support the birds. Continue to support the channel. And if you don't know, I go by Big Hus.
And I go by Mr. Owns.
And this is the Main Thing Podcast, where we keep the main thing the main thing. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Hey, we're building something real on this side, man. Come check us out. But till next time, hey, we out, man.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.